Happy New Year everybody, and welcome back to my channel. This year I'd like to start off with various Nvidia SLI setups and hopefully to disprove the majority of people that think that SLI is not worth it. Now I'm sure you've seen some videos in the past from some of the bigger YouTube names out there, and most of the time they say SLI is not worth it. It doesn't work good. Just save some money and buy a better graphics card, and always want you to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. But I want to disprove that theory and show you that some of the older hardware is still performing quite well. And of course it all depends on overall hardware that you have and have the right setup and right configurations. And yes, it's true, a lot of games don't support the SLI configuration, but the ones that do, they perform fantastic and almost unbelievable, and that's what I want to show you in these upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's go inside and see what this computer brings. And I want to go over the platform and all the parts inside to help you understand more of how to run a successful SLI system. And here it is, pretty much how it looks inside. Now pay attention on some of these components here, it's very important. For the platform, we're going to be using a 3rd generation i7 3770K with a gigabyte Z77 motherboard. The processor is going to be overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. And I am using a water cooler of the 240mm, and we're going to be using 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, 24 megahertz. And for the 2 graphic cards, it's going to be 2 GTX 660s, and these are pretty much like the Founder editions. They only come with a single fan, so they do get a little hot, but I'm going to show you some settings coming up in a few minutes. And also I'm going to use a 1000-watt power supply, 80 plus rated, with a little extra headroom. You always want to have some extra power. You don't want to cut it close when you do some SLI configurations. And also very important that this motherboard, even though it's pretty old, the PCI Express lanes are 3.0. Both of them are, especially the ones that I'm running in SLI mode. So you are going to get the most out of these graphics cards, and other ones later on that I'm going to install. Each time I'm going to go up a notch higher. Now you could say that these GTX 660s are going to be pretty much the lowest ones that are still supported by Nvidia's latest drivers. So anything below these 660s you're not going to be able to use anymore because they're not supported by the latest drivers. They'll still work for the older games, but as you know, every year they're going to take another series off the support list. That's just the nature of it all. And it's been almost a year since they got rid of the 500 series cards, so they're no longer being supported with the latest drivers. Therefore you cannot play some of the newer games, unfortunately. But yeah, for these old cards, which right now you could probably find these on eBay from somewhere 40 to 50 bucks for these GTX 660s. Even a single GTX 660 is still quite enjoyable at 1080p. A lot of the games you could still play. I mean, maybe you won't get high frame rates, but you will get good solid frame rates and you'll enjoy games at 1080p. So you could say you could get both of these, let's say, for 80 bucks, and the performance is amazing. I think at certain points, and I'm gonna show it to you, you be the judge what these 2 cards compete in some of the games. I was very successful in some of the SLI supported games. It came out really good. So now I'm going to go in depth and show you some of my setups and show you the parts a little bit closer and kind of go over the importance of the hardware in order for you to run a successful SLI setup. Okay everybody, now I just want to go over in depth on some of the key components that I'll be using to get a successful SLI setup. And if you do hear that wind in the background, that loud wind, I'm sorry about that, but I got some really loud fans in this case. I'm running them like at max speeds, and also just an idea, if you guys ever have some issues with your overclock processor when you're running a water cooler, I do recommend getting fast fans. In this case, the fans that I'm using are like running at 3,000 RPMs. They're not fancy looking, but you know, they run pretty fast, and you see a significantly big drop in temperatures when it comes to overclocking your CPU, especially when you're gaming. So that's one of the reasons that it's pretty loud. Also, I do have, when I am gaming, I do have the fans on the both graphics cards kicked up a notch. Well, I'll show you that later. So okay, let's get back to this anyways. So this is the motherboard here. This is the Gigabyte Z77X UD5H. To be honest, I've been waiting for years to get a good motherboard like that, to finally to get that performance that I dreamed about. Now pay attention to the back of this board. As you could see, follow the mouse. That's going to be your first PCI Express lane 3.0. It's a full 16 lanes. Now you got 2 spaces, and your second one is X8, also 3.0. So that's what makes this motherboard very special. So you do have spacing between the graphics card, just the right amount so they don't get too hot. And when you have them both plugged in, they both run at X8 3.0 PCI lane. So that way you'll get the true performance. Even the latest i9s and whatever out there with the motherboards, that's what you're gonna run when you run an SLI, and a 3rd gen X8. So nothing has changed, and this motherboard is, I don't know, it's probably came out in 2012 or 2013, the latest, if anything, and it still kicks butt. And it's great for overclocking. I mean, I didn't even have to increase the voltage when I overclocked the CPU to 4.5. That's a sweet spot. Anything after that is just kind of falls apart. And if I hit 4.5, for me that's good enough. So that's going to be one of your key components. And yeah, this motherboard is still expensive. If you try to get something like this nowadays, it's going to cost you a couple of $100 easily. So now let's jump into the graphics card that I'm using. Now look at this. This graphics card came out. Wow. That's how many years? That's like 6.5 years ago. Was released September 13, 2012, and this is the version of it right here. This is the one we're using. We're using 2 identical ones, but this was the first generation that they introduced the PCI Express 3.0, which is also great for SLI support. So we are getting the max out of this graphics card along with this motherboard, and it is SLI ready. So yeah, that's the graphics card we're going to be using. Now let me show you now some of my settings in the Nvidia control panel. Very important. Check this out. Okay, so yes, when it comes to configuring your SLI surround system here, you have to have the SLI, of course, at maximized 3D performance, and then you'll see the green bridge connected. When it comes to this physics settings, I do recommend just to leave it auto select. And now when it comes to system information, let me show you something. It does have the latest drivers at the time that I'm shooting, which is, I believe, December 12th of 2018. So the drivers are up to date, and as of now, fully supported at the 6th generation GTX. There it is. And it is still DirectX 12 compatible, and it runs really good at DirectX 12 in certain games. Now let's scroll down here and let me show you this part here. Yes, this is it. This is what I wanted to show you. See The bus is PCI Express X8 Gen 3. So from 6.5 years or so, the technology hasn't changed much, and that's why some of us who know what we have, we still keep it around for all these years, and there's really sometimes no reason to upgrade. And you can click on each graphics card and you'll see the same. You see that? Yep. So that's what I want to show you. Now the other thing is, I just want to show you how I set up my managed 3D settings, and this will go for all the setups, not only SLI, just if you're just doing a single graphics card, Nvidia. Yeah, so I have a couple of these things off. I have these two options off right here, the anti-aliasing FXAA and the gamma corrections off, both of them off. And then we scroll down more, and when it comes to DSR factors, I have all of them on, so that way we could test in higher resolutions and even in SLI mode. That's not a problem. I would like to use that all the time so I could test different resolutions, because I do frequently use a 1080p monitor. Now when it comes to power management mode, I always put it on preferred maximum performance. That way you get the most performance on your graphics cards. Now let's go a little bit lower here, and shaded cache, I like to always keep that off. Sometimes it sneaks up on you. Time to time I check it and make sure it's off. And then the last thing, when it comes to texture filtering, I like to use the high performance option. So yeah, that's pretty much all the settings that I recommend to run the SLI setup. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, as long as you have good hardware, don't forget to have a good power supply and you know, a good motherboard. And I do have 16 gigabytes of DDR3 2400 megahertz RAM, so that's still also pretty good. So that's pretty much it. So without further ado, let's jump into some games. Let's see how well this SLI setup works on some of the games. I'm very excited to show you the results. Okay, and the first game we're going to test in the SLI mode is Battlefield 1. And we're starting off here on 1080p on the lowest settings. So let me just show you. You could see 1080p lowest settings. Motion blur off. And here we are. And also the memory restriction is off on the lowest settings. And see what kind of FPS can we get. Yeah, that's pretty high. Yeah, in some of these areas away from the action, we're at 200 FPS. It's something you could expect from a graphics card like GTX 980 or GTX 1060. Not even a 970, last time I tested, was able to get these frame rates on the lowest settings. So as you could see, the SLI is working perfectly in this situation. Definitely double, yeah, it's almost double than what a single 660. And again, this graphics card is 6.5 years old, and this is their stock card, EVGA, with just a single fan. They do get pretty hot. That's why I did increase the fan speed in MSI Afterburner to 65%. And with those numbers, it's running pretty good. So now let's just jump in. I'm gonna jump right into a ultra settings, kind of see what we could get. But the results speak for themselves. Yep, and that's on ultra. Okay, let's go ahead and turn up these last two options to the max. And again, I mean, we're playing a pretty intense game. Maxed out on ultra. You know, with the, you know, definitely around 60 or more FPS. So that's pretty good. Oh no. getting cornered here. I would like to do everything in one scene here. Hopefully I'll get a chance to. I do wanna go into a higher resolution now. So let's try 1440p. Let's take it back to lowest setting, and then we'll see if we could max it out on ultra. Okay, where are we here? Yep. That's all we're gonna go only to 1440p. I was able to do 4K on the lowest settings, but there were some issues, and some screen flickering. That's just pushing this card too much. Maybe with a newer cards we could do that. Okay, so now we're at 1440p. Everything looks good, and we're in the lowest settings. Still alive, still alive. Okay, let's go ahead into ultra. Let's go ahead and max this bad boy out. So again, these two we're gonna leave off for this first set, which not the most important things, but to see if we could max it out. Yep, so we're at around 50s here, and we're going to the next scene, which is okay. Overall temperatures are looking pretty decent, especially for single fan older cards. You can see that for yourself. Alright, so let's just max it out and then complete our test here. Okay, not much of a drop with the two options on. But yeah, right now we're maxed out on 1440p. Everything looks great. Look at the raindrops. And there is 660s and SLI in 2019. If this video was helpful, guys, and you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and help me reach 1,000 subscribers. And thank you for watching. Okay, and the next game we're testing here is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Again, just to refresh your memory, we are using two GTX 660s, 2GB, single fan, and paired with i7 3770K, 4.5 gigahertz, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. And we're starting off with the lowest settings on 1080p. Let's just go over that real quick here. Lowest, that's it, everything turned off. And then here it is, 660, 1080p. We are using DirectX 12 for this. It seems to scale a little bit better than DirectX 11 when it comes to SLI. And you see this fancy little thing here, AFR. So, you know, all games are different when it comes to SLI. They must be, maybe DirectX 11 or DirectX 12 might work better for you. So we're going to run it with this for now and see how it looks. And you see, again, you'll never get this kind of frame rates even on the lowest settings with a single 660. You know. But you do see it. The DirectX 12 is working on a 6.5-year-old GPU. Unbelievable. And now we're pushing the GPU to the limits. You see the temperatures has gone up because we are using more of the GPU in this game and less of the CPU. And the evidence is here. You'll see that compared to the last game we tested, Battlefield 1, you do see the CPU drop. You see how it's 2800 drops. With Battlefield 1, it only stays at 4.5 because you utilize it the whole time. With this game, you utilize the graphics cards more, and that's why the temperature is higher. Very important to remember. But as we increase the resolution, we should see some different results. So I would think if we increase the resolution, then the GPU temperatures will drop. So let's just see. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just go up to the higher settings, medium, high settings. Okay, let's see what else we could do here. We'll turn these on, and definitely get rid of the blooms, the blurs. I mean, the two blurs, totally unnecessary. It does not make the game look any better. So let's do. So this is like high presets. So let's just see what happens here. Now the game looks a lot better. And now we're like in the 70s here. Very nice. So it looks like high settings is wow. Probably the best setting you could do on 1080p. I don't know if we're going very high. I know what happens with this game. It does tell you that you're gonna need minimum of 4 gigs of VRAM. Let's just take a look here. What happens if it allows me to even run? So we're on very high, but we're gonna turn again these two off. Let's see if it'll even work. And let's lower this to on, and just to see if we get close to 60 FPS. Probably not. We're at 50. Wow, the game looks fantastic. No stuttering, no issues. And now you see the RAM at the higher resolution. It's going above 8 gigs. So that's what you need, the 16 gigabytes of RAM for a game like this. Now you can understand. Oba! Nice, we made that. Okay. Yeah, this looks beautiful. Wow, look at that. We're using up 10 gigs of RAM now. Look at that. And the temperature did go down. You see, it was before 82 Celsius, the primary GPU there, and it dropped a little bit. So with the higher resolution, the temperature does drop, like I told you. So yeah, that looks like it's performing with no issues. Oh, that was craps. No, we'll try that again. I need a better head start. Oh my god, I can't believe that. That's embarrassing. That's it. That never happened to me before. But that's okay. Kind of shows you that there's no problem of the game restarting after that with these hearts. Ooh, the water looks nice. Now we're gonna go ahead and just go right into the higher resolution, 1440p. That's not it. First we'll lower it down, just to be safe. Okay. Where are you? That's it. Opa, what was that? That looked weird. Okay, so we're now at 1440p. We are on the lowest settings. It looks dull, but we're at our... Oh yeah, this part I want to increase the settings. So we're about 60 to 70 on the lowest settings. let's go ahead and go to high settings on 1440p. That looks kind of ugly. Okay, high settings, but we are gonna this and this. Yeah, I want to see the scene. You can really see the graphics of this part. That's why I wanted to change it up. Here it is. Wow, look at that. Looks great. And that's even recording with my camera. Unbelievable.
Damn it. Come on.
No issues, no stuttering. Going through a cutscene and everything.
There was a battle here. Armed soldiers against religious pilgrims. The order of
Ooh, did I get that one? Gotcha. Yeah, oh, look at that. Alright, well, there's only one thing left to do here is to go ahead and put on the highest settings. Well, leave that on, why not? Yeah, we'll turn that off like that. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it's playable. Oh, it's a little sluggish here. Let me see. How did it get used to it a little bit? Yeah.
Damn it. That was too close.
Okay, and that's pretty much the very high settings on the 1440p. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and enjoy the video, and let me know what kind of results you got on Tomb Raider on your SLI setup.
Let's hope this works.
That's it, we made it.
Stunning. We made it, Dad.
Okay, and here we have Witcher 3. Let's go over the settings. We are on the lowest 1080p, VSync off. Yeah, everything turned off.
Ever tell you about this sorcerer I knew? Couldn't stop talking about how useful they are as creatures.
Because you can brew potions from their blood.
No, because by eating rotting corpses they prevent epidemics.
Yeah, you could expect about 100 FPS or so on the lowest settings. Let's work our way up to ultra. Start with the graphics first. Okay. Go in the middle here. Sharpening, bloom. Anti-aliasing on. Leave these off. Yep, well, it's still a hard game to run, especially on Ultra, but it's just pretty decent results. To show you an action scene. But yes, it handles Ultra no problem, no stuttering. It's still enjoyable. Very much.
Did you know they eat the living as well?
No,
Or it's not exactly going our way.
the other side.
The northern realms.
Radovit's realms, don't you mean? Temeria and Editor no more.
Radovit's pledged to restore the old borders. So as he wins the war.
Believe that?
No, we need something. That's what keeps us going. Over there, Roach. We going? Help me! Help!
Ooh.
Go back.
You don't know, listen. The make plans. Act.
Like I...
Yeah.
No. It's up.
That's nice. Alright, let's give 1440p a shot here. Okay, let's see if we get close to 60 FPS on the lowest settings.
Go, go. So,
I might go to the
village. Strange.
Alright. Let's go ahead and do Ultra. See if it's even playable. yeah, around 30 FPS it looks like, and it's very much playable, just like I thought. So yes, you've seen it here in 2019. 2 GTX 660s, 2 gigabytes each. We're playing at 1440p and on ultra settings, and it's very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel if this was helpful in any way, or if you just liked the video. And here we have Grand Theft Auto 5, another great game that supports SLI for many years already. Once again, we're using 2 GTX 660 2GB each, along with Intel i7 3770K. There you have it. I'm gonna probably turn that on. Turn it off. There it is. Just on normal, like pretty much the lowest preset. As you guys all know, that we won't be able to shoot through all the settings while playing the game. I'd have to restart it because any major changes you have to restart the game. But I just want to show you first the high frame rates on the lowest set, which is normal on 1080p. So if you want those high settings, you don't mind the bland color and less detail, this is it. High frame rates. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, that's going to be on the lowest settings. Okay, now we're on very high settings on 1080p. Let me show you. And we have a couple options to play with also. Okay, yes, of course you have to turn this part on. Ignore suggested limits on. That way you could pass the 4 gigs of threshold, which is really good that these 2 gig cards actually able to use the full 4 gigs. That's very good. Only I think Grand Theft Auto 5 does that. So yeah, let me just show you here. We're on very high. We got this off, but we're gonna turn these options on and play around with that and see what's the limits we can do here. So let's see what we got here. Now the game is gonna look a lot better already. As you can see, the car's detail is incredible. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see what we could do. What else we could add here without restarting the computer. Okay. Let's go up to 4 on this. Let's see what the difference makes that. Well, that's a big drop. Let's keep it at 2. And was there any other options that we could do on Ultra? Yes. Could do that on Ultra. Let's increase this to the max. Still plenty of room to add some settings. Wow. Unbelievable. Look at these frame rates. And who said the SLI doesn't scale? Well, I don't know. Okay, let's see what else we could add here. Okay, let's see. Now we open up the secret option. Let's see if I don't have to restart the computer. Nope. Okay, now with this Nvidia TX AA opens up only when you put this MSAA on X2. If you put X4, this option is not available. So that was the way to get the secret bonus setting up and running. And then let's go ahead and go crazy with the 4 here, 4X. Let's see if this will bring it to the limits here. Okay, yeah, wow. This is incredible. Come on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I wouldn't push it because there's going to be some issues if you increase anything else, I think. So we'll just leave it at this. Very enjoyable, around 60 FPS on 1080p. Pretty much maxed out. So. No issues. Okay, let's give it a shot and go to 1440p with leaving the same settings. Will this thing collapse? Or you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lower this because I noticed. I think X2 will be perfect because even though the frame rates look good, there is some stuttering sometimes. Okay, so let's do it. And that's how we'll finish off this test. Okay. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's let the frame rates catch up, hopefully. Yeah. That's looking pretty, yeah, it looks great, but it's not playable. So, maybe we're gonna lower some things. Let's see if I could get this going. Turn that off. Yep. Turn this off. There you go. Oh, that jumped right up. Let's give it one more shot here. I think I could maybe add something else. If I do this and sacrifice the other settings, is that what's holding me back? Yeah, there you go. Wow. Looks great on 1440p. As you can see, we're almost maxed out on Ultra, or the highest setting, whatever you want to call it. Oh no, flip over. Oh yes, that's it. Okay, let's give it another try. Now we're gonna go ahead and turn this off, and then go on that. That's it. That's our lucky 60 FPS. If you guys want to go check out the settings, I'm just going to show you the settings. If you want to play 1440p, these are our settings here. Come on. 60 frames. Yep, that's pretty much it here. Now we could enjoy the rest of this video. Let me just play this part. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and help me reach 1,000 subscribers. And let me know your SLI setups to see if you had better or worse success on these setups. You can see it looks great. Okay, and that's it. And that concludes our test of Grand Theft Auto 5. And here we have Far Cry 5. I'm gonna start off on the lowest settings, 1080p. Once again, we're using two GTX 660s and SLI, along with an i7 3770K. We're gonna do 1440p. Now we're gonna really push this SLI configuration. Catch up. Really, let's see. Okay, normally that's what I thought. That's it. Yeah, the lowest settings, it's pretty good. No stuttering. Oh, they got the big chiefs with the vests. Oh, I'm running. Run to the house. Okay, let's push this bad boy to ultra. Okay. Oh yeah. There's a little stutter there. I'll let it catch up, but yeah. Pretty much Ultra on 1440p is not exactly playable, so I would probably think that... Yeah, I see the stuttering. Let them come here. Probably the best setting for this would be on high. And let's turn this on too. Yes. That's perfect. Good playable 30 FPS around, oh no, maybe lower. In some sections. Let's turn that off. That's it. That's what's holding me back. Yep. So yeah, you could see, you could definitely enjoy 1440p on high settings. No problem. And runs good. And that's it. That's Far Cry 5. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave any comments down below. Let me know what SLI setup you have and what kind of results you were able to get on some of these games that I've showed you today. Okay, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, and here we have Battlefield 5. Once again, we're running two GTX 660s, 2 gigabytes each in SLI mode. And we're gonna start off on the lowest settings on 1080p. There you have it, full screen, motion blur off. Let's go to the advanced settings and I'll show you. There they are, the lowest settings. By the way, I will go over when it comes to Battlefield 5. It's a little bit tricky to get the SLI going. You do need a fix, and after the fix, you do have to change a couple of things. You have to run on DirectX 11 and GPU restriction off and future frame rendering on. But I'll go over that a little bit more. I'll make a separate video on how to get the SLI to work on Battlefield 5. So let's continue here. Yeah, if you want the high frame rates, you could play it on the lowest settings on 1080p, which still looks really good. There's nothing wrong with that. go up to the next setting here. Let's go up to medium now. Okay, now we get some good stuff here. Get a better weapon. Oh, thank God. Okay, let's go to high settings now. I mean, pretty good for 6-year-old cards, or more than 6 years old. Close to 7. One of the more demanding games. Performs excellent, I would say. And again, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out all my other videos. I have tons of videos to show everybody that you could definitely run some good frame rates on a lot of the games with the older hardware. That's what I do for fun. That's my hobby. So if you want to find out the truth here, I'm not gonna convince you to buy new stuff and upgrade every time something new comes out. Find out the truth here on my channel. I don't know about you guys, but I love these older World War I and World War II games. The aiming is a little bit harder. The weapons are, you know, not as precise. I just love the realism. Okay, let's give it a try now on ultra settings. Okay. Okay, very good. Let's see if we could stay around 60. You know, probably, you know, not gonna be perfect 60, but still quite enjoyable. Oh boy. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and just max it all out. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, so here we are. We're on max, pretty much max settings. Oh, wow! Did you see that? That guy went flying. Well, you can see that handles Ultra pretty well here with good frame rates. Okay, now let's jump into a higher resolution, which is 1440p. Let me just go here. First we're gonna lower it down and do the same thing with... Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yep. Okay, now we're at 1440p on the lowest settings. Okay, again, let's go to a higher setting, medium. Eat that, 10 series graphic cards. Who needs them? You can get these bad boys now for around 30 to 40 bucks each. And still enjoy some good games. Uh-oh. I'm gonna regroup a little. Oh, this guy's hiding. This freaking guy. Oh! Nice. Okay, let's jump into I'm still playing pretty good at high settings.
quelque chose. Trouve un moyen que ça marche.
Oh, now we got the good stuff. Okay, now there's Ultra. See if it's even playable. I mean, we're really pushing this thing up. I mean, what settings can this thing do? Well, I'm not gonna try 4K, that's for sure. Uh-oh. What was that? There was some flickering there. Now we're really pushing it. Now, finally, on Ultra, you're starting to feel there's some issues. But I think once you start playing a little bit more, okay, not bad. Now I'm gonna go ahead and there and try to turn the last two options on. Matter of fact, let's keep it reasonable. I'm just gonna keep this. Okay, well, let's go all the way. Why not? Let's see what happens. That's it. So yeah, that's it. We're pretty much maxed out on Ultra. Look at the quality. The water looks good. The background looks good. Everything looks nice. So yeah, guys, this is it. Battlefield 5 1440p on Ultra settings. If you like the video, if this was any help to you, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out all my videos. I'm going to be doing throughout the year. I'm going to do a lot of different testings, especially with older hardware. Just go through my intensive collection that I collected throughout the years. Okay, guys, so thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.